What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon. MLB DFS video for Thursday, April 10th. Not the best baseball slate. I don't love the slate, but we're still here for you. Now, what I mean by that is, you could probably tell by the link to the video, it's a little bit longer than what you're used to, probably. If you're new to the channel, what we do is we try to make you a better DFS player. So what we do is we go through every single game. We look at the pitchers. We look at the batters that have historical matchups against them, that have hit the handedness, and everything in between. So on top of that, we're trying to make you better, but we're also trying to help you out as well. So if this video is enough for you and that is it, that is awesome. But if you do need a little bit more of a boost, we do have FTA Plus, which is $10 a week, $30 for a month, so $1 a day. We have it for $200 for a year. We have one spot available. If you are interested, instead of $199 for the year, you can get it for $99 if you email me right now, dfshelp1@gmail.com. We also try to have giveaways every single video. We try to have 2 every single baseball video. And here's how you can enter. All you got to do, like the video, be a subscriber, and leave a comment on this video. Preferably a positive comment, but a comment. If this video gets at least 50 likes, you have a shot at a free week of FTA Plus. 100 likes is a free month, 150 likes, a free year, 200 or more likes on the video, a chance at a lifetime pass. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to see who the 2 winners are from 2 days ago. So yesterday, on April 9th, we had storms and I couldn't get a video out. The power was out. It was a hell of a time trying to get all the projections and everything updated on my phone. And then the power finally came through late in the day. So hopefully we are able to continue, and hopefully the weather will not be a concern moving forward. So going off of what we have from 2 days ago, we had 1,000 views, 66 comments, and 103 likes. And the second way to win in these videos, somewhere there'll be a keyword or key phrase, and you have a second shot at a free week. So what we're going to do is we're going to roll this. Even if the keyword is in this first one, we're still going to re-roll it twice. So the first one will be the first winner of a month. There you go. I'm thankful that you get in depth with each game. It helps me to make a more educated pick for my lineups. Thanks again. Thank you for checking us out, Birdie J. I believe this is the first time you've ever won. So congratulations. Email me, dfshelp1@gmail.com, and you've won yourself a free month of FTA Plus. And come back every single day because you could win. You could stack it up. So the keyword was not in this one. We shall re-roll it anyway and see who it is. There you go, Joseph Kohler. Congratulations. The keyword was water. So both of you, believe you might both be new winners that we've never had before, which is exactly what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make more people better DFS players and more winners. So congratulations to both of you. We do have 5 games. So we're going to go over the 5 games. Then we're going to give you some of the plays that have a 10 out of 10 matchup rating as of the first 10,000 simulations that we've done. Now, it's not the best slate. The pitching's kind of atrocious overall. We're still going to cover it. And these are through 10,000 simulations. So but depending on when you watch this video later on in the day or in the morning, you could check it out, especially since the main slate will lock at, I believe it locks at 12. Yeah, 12:10. It's just these games are not good. I don't like them. But what can you do? Yeah. Nothing we can really do. There's 6 games, but the last one is like at 6:10 or something like that, I believe. So we are going to cover everything. So the first game on the slate that we're going to cover, LA at Tampa Bay, or LA at the Yankees spring training complex. You got Jose Soriano versus Zach Littell. So we go to Outlier, and what I love is, again, it shows everything that you need, and it breaks it down, and you can even see some history and stuff like that. So Littell last year, 0-0 record, 360 ERA per 9.9 strikeouts in that game. Going up against the Angels. Angels been hitting a little bit better lately. And then if we look at what Littell has been doing, he's 8,500. 2 starts, 1 good start, 1 bad start against Texas. Now, he's gone 6+ innings in both of those games, but 5 earned runs against Texas, 3 strikeouts. The strikeouts were low in that game. He just didn't have anything going. Now he's going up against the Angels in a game where it just depends on what the weather's going to be doing, like if the wind's going to be blown out, because it could induce some home runs here. So Zach Littell, little bit scary. I don't know if I trust him enough. Now, with a 5-game slate and it's early, if I play at all, it's all tournaments. It's not going to be cash. And then Jose Soriano here, we did use him his last game against Cleveland, 5.1 innings. Did give up 5 earned runs, but had 9 strikeouts and 3 walks. So even with 5 earned runs, he ended up getting us 15.2, which, considering all things considered, had a pretty good game. Fantasy point wise. Obviously, had he not given up any earned runs or walks, we're probably looking at 30 plus fantasy points out of him. So outside of that, Tampa Bay's offense, not the best offense, we'll put it that way. But we can look at the games, we can look at the players, and we can see what they've done. So in their career, looking at this, Zach Littell, overall, against the players against them, we've got Jorge Soler with a home run. Trout has a home run. You've got Tim Anderson with a home run. Those are good players. If I were to stack this game and you want to look at some of them, I'm taking Mike Trout. I'm taking Kyron Paris while he's hot. I don't think this is the player he actually is. I will be pleasantly surprised if he is actually this player. But I would be taking him right now, just the way he's going, you got to. I would look at Nolan Schanuel as well. Logan O'Hoppe and Taylor Ward if I were to be stacking an Angel stack against Littell here. And then Tampa Bay bats against Soriano in their career. Caballero has a home run, and that is it. Against right-handed pitching last year, not like ideal. Obviously, we've got about 2 weeks worth of data, probably about another week to 2 more weeks, and we should be getting up to 2025 stats where we can look at how they've done against left-handed pitchers or right-handed pitchers. But we don't have a ton of information. But if I were to look at this against Soriano, I would look at Brandon Lau. I think if you ever have a Tampa Bay stack, Lau is in that lineup there. Caballero, I'm okay with. I don't love. Overall, I really don't love the Tampa Bay offense the majority of the time. Yandy Diaz, I would maybe take a look at a little bit. And depending, if it's Danny Jansen or Ben Rortvedt, whoever is catching today, I would take one of those guys. Rortvedt maybe a little bit more. Hopefully he will be catching in this game. But again, the pitching is not, the pitching in the offense, nothing wows me here. That's the problem. And that's the problem with a 5-game slate here, which there's not a ton. And what's wild is Jose Soriano is the highest priced pitcher on the slate. Those two are the highest 2 price pitchers on the slate. So I think their ownership will be up there. White Sox at the Guardians with weather concerns. We've got Gavin Williams versus Jonathan Cannon. So Gavin Williams comes in, hasn't really done anything the first 2 starts. 3 innings against the Angels, 4 runs, 2 of them earned, 5 strikeouts, but 3 walks. Against Kansas City, in a pitcher's ballpark, 5 innings, 2 earned runs, 2 Ks, under 9 fantasy points in 2 starts. Now he's going up against the White Sox. Now, this feels like people are going to be all over him. And just the weird slate that it is, a White Sox stack could take it down today. That's what's crazy about today. Then you got Jonathan Cannon. Good start against the Angels. Not a good start against Detroit. Now, Detroit's been hitting very well. He only went 3.2 innings there, 3 earned runs, 3 walks, 3 Ks. It was a bunch of 3s, 3.5 fantasy points. I'm probably not on Cannon much, but with a 5-game slate, you could probably use him in tournaments and be okay with it. But again, we've got to monitor the weather because as of right now, rain during the game is not what we want to see, especially with a starting pitcher, and especially if it happens after the game start. So we look at that. White Sox bats against Gavin Williams. No one's had success, really. No home runs. 3 RBIs total. This White Sox offense, though, you could look at Mike Tauchman. I don't know if he'll get in there. He'll be a cheap option. Luis Robert, obviously. You could look at Andrew Vaughn, but only batted .233 last year against righties. Andrew Benintendi, .235 batting average. I don't trust him. I don't really want anything. Basically, if you want to go against the grain and go with a different kind of stack, maybe look at Michael A. Taylor, Michael Tauchman, Luis Robert, and Andrew Vaughn. Maybe Matt Thaiss as well. Other than that, though, I don't like this game on the White Sox side. Their offense it doesn't do anything for them. Cleveland bats against Cannon. Nolan Jones has a home run. But then if we look last year, how they did, if I were to look at a Cleveland stack here, which I'm okay with, obviously, Stephen Kwan and J Ram are always going to be in those stacks, no matter what. Carlos Santana being a switch hitter, I'm okay with. Kyle Manzardo, I'm okay with as well. Maybe Lane Thomas, but again, something inside of me tells me the White Sox might be a weird stack that might do it this game. Gavin Williams, just neither pitcher has looked ideal, and I think more people are going to be on Gavin Williams or Cleveland as a stack where we could get above the field and go with a little bit of the White Sox as a stack here, a little bit more. Again, this is honestly might be the ugliest slate we'll see all year, pitching wise, and it sure has been the ugliest slate so far to start the season. Next game, we've got Minnesota at Kansas City. Again, if you've been with us for our other videos, you know Kansas City is a pitcher's ballpark, and just depending on the weather report, which we do have on the cheat sheet, we'll tell you how the wind is going, where it's blowing, how fast it is, if it gets a boost to pitchers or if it gets a boost to batters. So you can check that out on FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. But we've got Bailey Ober versus Michael Wacha. Now, Ober coming in, very bad start against St. Louis to start the season for him. Good start against Houston. Only went 4 innings, though. That's the problem. He has not gone over 4 innings, and he's facing a Kansas City team that they've seen him before. So coming off 14 fantasy points at 8,200 was not ideal. What you're looking for pitching, especially on DraftKings, about 2.5 to 3 times value. On DraftKings, you get, when your pitcher gets 30, or on FanDuel, winning the pricing is just different. And like on FanDuel, when you get a pitcher that does like 45 plus, you're probably in a good spot as long as your bats showed up a little bit. So in this one, Bailey Ober against a Kansas City team, I don't love it, but again, 5 games, you don't have a ton to go off of. Then you got Michael Wacha. Has not been effective. I mean, his price has dropped down from 8,100 against Baltimore, which is wild, to 77,000 against Minnesota. 0-2 record here. Now, if we look at last year, obviously both of these teams have seen him. He 1-0 record last year against Minnesota, 0 earned runs, 7 innings, and 9 strikeouts. If we could get that out of him at his price, that would be perfect. We get 20 plus out of fantasy points out of him. I'd be okay with that. And then if we look at Bailey Ober, 0-2 record last year, 9.45 ERA. Kansas City had his number, and that's pretty much the thought process in this game as well. I would be looking at Kansas City bats a little bit more. Like Sal Perez is batting 368 with 2 bombs against him. Bobby Witt has a home run, batted 474 against him. Kyle Isbell has a home run. MJ Melendez has a home run. Michael Massey, Michael Garcia. Like, they all have home runs against him. If they could jump out on him early, I think a Kansas City stack makes a ton of sense as well. So I would be looking at Sal Perez. I would be looking at Bobby Witt Jr. I would look a little bit at Michael Massey. And then if you want to find either Vinny Pasquantino, you want to find MJ Melendez, a Kyle Isbell type, you could look at those to finish out your 5-man Kansas City stack there. The Minnesota against Michael Wacha since 2018. Ryan Jeffers has a home run. Correa has a home run. And that is it. Against right-handed pitching, you can see they do better against right-handed pitching. So a Minnesota stack here against Wacha, I don't mind. Carlos Correa, Byron Buxton, Matt Wallner, Trevor Larnach. Maybe Willie Castro or Ty France as a cheap option if you're trying to fill out a 5-man DraftKings stack anyway. And then there's always one-off. So honestly, I could see a Minnesota stack being a sneaky one here, and I think a kind of 2 different stacks could make sense. So make multiple different stacks with them. Got to get a little creative today. Throw in Jose Miranda. Throw in Ryan Jeffers. Throw in Harrison Bader as well. I don't mind those. That's kind of where we're at there. I would probably, and I'll let you know right now, I'll be the first one to tell you, I'm not always right. There's sometimes that I read these wrong. I'm probably off the pitching in this one and looking at offense only for both sides. I like a Kansas City stack more, but I don't think I mind a Minnesota stack. I'm pretty good with the Minnesota stack as well. And before we get to the Coors game, the key word of the day is on my shirt. NSYNC, the greatest boy band in the entire universe. That is the keyword. Make sure you write it in there to have a shot at a free week of FTA Plus. Now we got Milwaukee at Colorado against the Coors Effect. You got Quinn Priester versus Ryan Feltner. So looking at Quinn Priester, game log wise, he has not started anything. I believe they just traded for him. I was going to say, it's not the best first start for him. I don't love it. He's 6,500. I don't know if you could even take a flyer on him to feel comfortable. I don't think I would. You got Ryan Feltner coming in. Game log wise, it's basically been two starts there. Athletics actually have a pretty good offense, and the way they've been going, I mean, they feel they feel pretty good here. I think both offenses make sense, but when you have yourself a Colorado game, the prices of the batters are going to be up, but the pitchers are going to be down. And these are two really bad pitchers that I don't feel have a ton of confidence in this ballpark. I'm probably looking at just the offenses overall. So if we do look at just those offenses there, if we're looking at hitters for Milwaukee, I'm looking at William Contreras. I would look at Jackson Chourio, Bryce Terang, Sal Frelick. Makes sense. A couple cheap options could be Vinny Capra if he gets in there. Eric Haase as a very cheap catching option on a getaway day where the teams are going to be traveling after the game. So you could always look at that. It just depends on the depth that they have. And then Colorado bats going up against Priester making his debut. Probably looking at Hunter Goodman, Ryan McMahon, Tovar, Britton Doyle. And then I don't mind Nick Martini. I don't know if he'll get in. Let's see how he's done recently. Did not play Monday, the 31st. It's kind of, you don't know when he's going to get in there. He could get in there, though. Batting .350 in the limited time he's played. He's a lefty on righty matchup. Nick Martini at 3,500. I'm okay with. So if this wasn't in Coors, I bet Nick Martini would be, let's see what his price was. Yeah, about 2,500 range. And then they put him up 1,000 because it's in Colorado. So if he was in there, he would be a cheap option. I don't know if he'll be in there, though. So overall, pitching-wise, I'm not looking at those two pitchers. And then the final game on this slate, because there is a game like 3 hours later. Is it Philly at Boston? Yeah, Philly at Atlanta, which we are not going to cover because it is the night game that is a showdown game. Maybe we'll have a video of breaking down the showdown using SaberSim. Maybe we'll do it that way. We haven't done that, but I've been thinking about Sunday Night Baseball because a lot of you like to play, but we don't cover it in the main slate. Kind of like what we did with baseball or with football, where we had Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football, and Thursday Night Football showdown breakdowns. Maybe we'll do that with the games. So maybe I'll put another video out with that as well. So we got Toronto at Boston to finish it. Chris Bassett versus Walker Buehler. So we look at Chris Bassett. Two really good starts. A fantastic start in against his former team in the Mets in that ballpark. Now he gets a less favorable matchup here against Boston. But we can see what his numbers have been against them in the past. And then Walker Buehler coming in. 8.68 ERA, has not had good starts against them. Two good starts this year. Going up against St. Louis, 7 hits allowed, 5 earned runs. And then Texas, he gave up 4 earned runs there, has not gotten more than 8.5 fantasy points. And the way Toronto has been, I could see them having a good game here against them. So Walker Buehler did not face them last year. Obviously, he was with the Dodgers and he was hurt. So they didn't see him. But we look at history, not a ton, but George Springer has seen him. George Springer's been hitting pretty decent when we've used him, and when we've suggested him and we put him in our lineups, he's actually done very well for us this year. I want to continue to ride that wave while we can. So if I were looking to stack Toronto against Walker Buehler, I would be looking at, if Andres Jimenez is in there, he was day to day. If he is in there, I would look at him. I would look at Vladdy. I would look at Bo Bichette, George Springer, maybe Santander, but don't quote me on that. So if we move over to the Red Sox bats against Chris Bassett in their career, Tristan Casas does have a home run. Rafi Devers has 3. Again, we know his struggles, what's been going on with him. still priced up at 4,900, batting 244 with 1 home run. You know, he had a decent game there against St. Louis, 18-7 win there. Before that, 18 fantasy points. Like, he had a really good series against St. Louis. And then we know his struggles prior to that. Now, it's been a couple of games where he has not been ideal. Still priced. It's wild, his struggles, and then the price. But he has had success. The problem, he's only had 1 home run this year. But I think that we could see that change in this game. He's 7 for 14. 3 of those 7 hits have been home runs. So he sees the ball out of Chris Bassett's hand very well. That's what you want to see. Right-handed pitching, last year, how they've done. Bregman, 274 batting average, 18 bombs. Casas, 237. Devers, 293. Trevor Story, 276. Duran, 298. Those are all the batters I would use there. Being a Thursday game, it's kind of like a Sunday game. So this is one where we've got to kind of monitor what the lineup's going to be out there, because you might see a weird kind of Thursday type lineup here. But I would look at those bats. If you're looking for a couple more bats to complete a 5-man stack on DraftKings, you could look at Rafaela. You could look at Christian Campbell. You could, as a cheap option, David Hamilton. Now, if we look at David Hamilton, second base or shortstop, he's 2,600. He's, when he's been used sparingly, like he had a decent game there, he can get you a stolen base. Those are going to get you fantasy points. But outside of that, I mean, he's batting .071. He has not looked ideal. But on a 5-game slate, if you want to look at someone to kind of just fill out a stack, I'm okay with him, but he has not been ideal this year. Blake Sable, if he is starting catcher in this one, I don't mind him. Last year batted .321. Obviously a very small sample size. Let's see. He got recalled on Tuesday. So yeah, he could get a start. He obviously didn't pinch hit on the day he got called up, but maybe he gets a start on a Thursday. We'll kind of see. I believe he was from San Francisco last year, if I recall. So again, a Boston stack I don't mind it. Chris Bassett has been pretty good this year, though, but you got to get creative there. Looking at pitching overall for the day, I'm off of Feltner, I'm off of Priester, I'm off of Cannon. Maybe Waka for tournaments. That's it. I'm off of Ober. The pitching, it's bad today. It's very, very bad. This might be one of the days you guys take a break. Come back on Friday where there's a full slate. But I don't mind. I think a sneaky stack here could be the White Sox. It just depends on what the weather's looking like. Boston stack against Chris Bassett, because everyone's going to see how Chris Bassett's been. He's also 8,000. He's 4th highest owned on the slate. I would be okay with that as well. So there you have it. Those are the breakdowns of the games, the pitchers, the batters. Now we're going to look at so these are the top batters through 10,000 simulations. These most likely will change throughout the day. So number 1 right now, we've got Ty France against Michael Walker. He's 10 for 20, batting 500. Number 2 is Alex Bregman, which I really like. Number 3 is Bobby Witt Jr. Number 4 is Rafi Devers, who has had success against Bassett in his career with 3 bombs that we talked about. Number 4 is Sal Perez against Bailey Obert. Number 5 is Christian Yelich, who's going to be very expensive in Coors. Next, we have Wilyer Abreu, followed by Harrison Bader, Kyle Isbell, Ozzie Albies, Austin Riley, Mike Trout, and the final one through 10,000 simulations with a 10 out of 10 matchup rating is Jorge Soler versus Zach Littell. Now, these will change a little bit, and they will update, and we will update them when we do our simulations. So these are through 10,000 simulations, about an hour or two before lock, so about 10 a.m. Central Time. The 20,000 simulations will be done, and those will be updated on the website under FTA or FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. Under the MLB tab, we have all of this information. All of it is there. Now, when you get sports, it is the Masters today as well. So depending on when you watch this video, you can get in FTA Plus. We've already got the Masters lineups out there. We've got the Masters cheat sheet and the Masters Bacon Station with all of the research that you would need for the Masters. This weekend, or NBA still going on. I don't know if we're going to continue NBA videos. They're just not getting the views that I need for as much time as I spend on it. I can be spending more time on baseball, which it's what we love here. So we will see. But again, we've got NASCAR, we've got NBA that's still in season. Sunday is the last day for NBA during the regular season. Playoffs, then we'll kind of feel like who's going to play, not all the questionable tags, not the people that may sit for no reason. They'll be there. We also have MMA as well. So all of those are in season right now. Get it for $10 for a week. Get it for $30 for a month. $199 for a year, unless you are the last person that emails me. We got one spot available. I already have an email out to someone who messaged me on Sunday or Monday, asking if it was available. They said they were interested. I had not heard back from them. So we have one spot available to get $100 off a yearly pass. Email me, dfshelp1@gmail.com. And that is what I've got in this video. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, let us know down below. We have a free Discord down below as well. Check out the article. We've got it for you. Good luck today. And as always, bring home some bacon. Peace.